morning, everyone. Today is the 7th of June, 2025. It's about 6:25 in the morning. I'm in the town of Chinle, Arizona, which is just outside of, just ignore the beeping, it's just me going over the lines. I'm just outside of Chinle, Arizona, right outside of Canyon de Chelly, which was an archaeological site, famous for some ruins and things like that. So the plan today was to go to Kayenta, Arizona and Monument Valley. However, I found out that unfortunately Monument Valley is closed this weekend because today's a Saturday. I don't know if that's normal, but I did see something saying that they had some flash flooding based on some heavy rains over the last few days, and they were closed anyway. So I had to make another plan. So today, looking at the map, I'm going to be visiting Bears Ears National Monument. Now, I've never heard of it, but it's a national monument, and it looks to me like in that vicinity, it looks like it's a large acreage of land right outside of some other national parks. But it looks like it's famous for petroglyphs. There's a place called Newspaper Rock. There's some ruins there. So we're going to go check that out today. This is a totally random, off the beaten path type thing, just based on the fact that, well, sometimes plans just don't work out the way you want. So we're going to check them out today and see how it goes. So we're on the road again. All right, we are now in Utah. We're at the Butler Wash Interpretive Site, which is part of Bear Ears National Monument. It's BLM land, or Bureau of Land Management land, and there are some ruins that we're going to take a walk up. It's about a half-a-mile walk from where I parked here to where the ruins are, and I guess there's a good view of them, so we're going to check them out. This is not something I had planned to do today. However, sometimes, again, when you do things that are not quite planned, they turn out sometimes to be the better things. So let's check this stuff out, shall we? You've got ruins right into the walls there. Butler Wash ruins overlook, occupied by the Anasazi Indians 700 years ago. It says it was abandoned before 1300, so all up in there, all those little, each of those little caves there has ruins. And that's quite a deep drop too. Very pretty. All right, so our second stop here at Bears Ears National Monument is at Mule Canyon. And this is an interpretive site. Looks like there's been reconstruction, but that's okay. Just take a look at what we have here. We've got this kiva over here. Actually, I think they call it a tower, so this probably would have been much taller. And then in the center, we have this reconstructed kiva here. Very similar to the one that's at Chaco Canyon, if you remember from the Chaco Canyon videos. Very, very similar to that. So this obviously is not a cliff dwelling, so it's definitely different in architecture and in style. A group of native indigenous people that settled these lands, Utah, Colorado, Arizona, places like that. They did all these structures, lived here for centuries. I'm now at the third stop here at Bears Ears National Monument. This is supposed to take me to the House of Fire, which is a very, I guess, a famous cliff dwelling. I don't think it's that big. I think it's rather small, but I guess the way it's built during certain times of day, it looks like the house is on fire. So we're at Mule Canyon. I'm going to be hiking down in there. I don't know how far this is going to be, so I packed with water. I've got the truck parked to the side of the road. So let's check this out, shall we? What's interesting about this hike for me is I have no idea how long it is. I don't know where it leads. I mean, I know it goes to this so-called House of Fire, but I have no idea how far in it goes. It's just strictly random. But I did see a couple hikers ahead of me when I drove by. I ended up driving up on that cliff ledge up there, not knowing where the trailhead was, so I had to stop for a second and Google it. But yeah, I have no idea exactly where we're going or where we're going to end up, so we'll see. Beautiful day though. I just met some nice folks on the trail. That's a really cool thing about hiking and when you're doing this stuff, is you meet people and they're all super nice. Anyway, he was nice enough to show me the guidebook that he has for Bears Ears National Monument, and shows that the House of Fire, it's only about a mile walk one way. So I would think any time now. Beautiful place. Well, I thought that was super cool. I can see why they call it the House of Fire. Did you see how the rocks, they cascaded up? You know, you could just imagine with the sun setting, you know, this blinding orange light just lighting up that whole exterior. Now, as much as I'd like to hang out here in Mule Canyon for the rest of the day, it's a beautiful canyon. I mean, look at all the green. It's all grown. There's water, a little bit of water in the creek. Just these beautiful rock faces. As much as I'd like to stay here, there's other places in Utah I'd like to visit. Today's still young. It's only 10:30 in the morning. Got gas in the truck. Don't have to be anywhere specifically, so we're just gonna make our way further north, stopping at places as we see them on the side of the road, and maybe get some interesting things, some interesting pictures, maybe learn some interesting things, and just enjoy our trip. Well, thank heavens for meeting people on the way. Somebody had mentioned that if you take a right past the Butler Wash archaeological site, there's dinosaur tracks, and I'll be darned, it's not even a sign by the road. But I kept my eyes open. Welcome to the Butler Wash dinosaur track site. So let's see if we can find some dinosaur bones. That would, or not dinosaur bones, dinosaur tracks. It'd be cool to find bones, but it's not why we're here. All right, so let's check this out, shall we? Well, we got a car down there, which means you probably could have driven down there, but we're gonna walk. It's good to get some exercise, I think. No sooner did I get to the bottom of the hill that I saw them. And there's 1, 2, 3. We're walking right that way. So I wonder if there's more around here. I bet you there are. It's kind of cool. Alright, so the next stop on our Bears Ears National Monument tour is newspaper rock petroglyphs. Buffaloes in there. People on horseback. We've got a wheel over here. Got an alien looking figure up there, although I doubt if it's in there. This is a gorgeous piece of art, isn't it? Now there really is something special about that early indigenous art, isn't there? There's something specific about it. It's simple and yet complex. There really isn't any other art form like that other than, you know, those folks that repeat those motifs, right? But those really are those original designs. They're simple, they're geometric, absolutely stunning. And when they're set against that dark stone with the light rock underneath, it's incredible to see. So I hope you've enjoyed newspaper rock, and who knows what else we're going to find. But for now, it's time to get into Ruby and see what the next adventure is going to be. Well, all right, everybody. I have decided... Where's the sun? Sun is almost directly overhead. Bad place for the sun. All right, I've decided that I'm going to be staying here at the Super Bowl BLM campground. It's $15 a night. I was able to pay without an internet connection through the recreation.gov app. So if it's on your phone and you have that, you could actually kind of make a temporary hold payment so that once you have established connection again, it'll send your 15 bucks off to BLM plus $1.50 or so service fee, which I could never quite understand what that is, but nevertheless, it was really simple. But just look at where I am. Let me give you kind of the 360 here. I decided to pick this spot here because it has this tree configuration and a little bit of shade. You'll notice none of the other spots have shade, so I'm glad I am literally the only person here right now. This canyon area is spectacular. This is kind of like the quote-unquote foothills of Canyonlands. If I go out the gate, if I go out the road over there and take a left, that takes me to Canyonlands. Exactly where, I'm not quite sure. Again, no internet connectivity, so maps and stuff is, let's put it this way, tomorrow I'm going to have to guess. But if you go right, there's beautiful canyons. So this whole area here is just stunningly gorgeous. Just look at the red in the hills and the whites at the top and the blues of the sky. And over here, this is called the 6-shooter. Those are those two points, the one on the right and the one on the left. Those are called 6-shooters. I'm sure there's a history for that. But right now, I'm the only person here. It's just me, myself, and I. Not even a lot of traffic's going by. So if I'm lucky, I'll be the only one. But you know how it goes. The later things get in the day, the more likely people are going to want to rest. And of course, this is an option if you are camping in this area. So right now, it's about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. It's still pretty early, so I might hike around a little bit and see what's here. I don't want to go too far because I'm unfamiliar with the area. I do not have GPS capability. The last thing I want to do is, you know, get lost in the canyons, get eaten by coyotes or something, and I don't want that to happen. So really, this is where I'm going to be spending the night. So I'm at Site 6. Beautiful spot. Where I'm going to set up the tent, I'm not quite sure. You'll notice the ground is damp in some places, and that's because there was a huge rainstorm over the last couple days. I don't know, maybe I'll set up to the left here, I don't know. But I'll figure it out, Either way, it's going to be a beautiful night tonight. There shouldn't be any lights to affect the sky either, so if for some reason I can stay up past 8 o'clock, which is hard for me because of all the hiking and stuff I do during the day, I bet you the stars would look phenomenal. I didn't think it was that funny. Anyway, here's to a good day. Here's to a really good day. See yous.